If you're looking to increase your attack in Tears of the Kingdom, there's no better way to do it than acquire the Master Sword. If you played the previous game, you'll know how well it is and how important it is to completing everything. So in this video, we're going to show where to find it and how to get your hands on it. To begin with, if you head over to Korok Forest, where the Master Sword was in the previous game, you're going to notice there's a massive black cloud over the top of it, and upon diving down on it, you're going to be engulfed by smoke, and you'll realise that you can't enter the forest by flying. And it's the same for foot. If you try to enter on foot, it's just going to kick you straight out. The only way to enter the forest, which is a little bit more annoying than last time, is by diving down into the depths. Just southeast of the forest, you're going to notice there's a little hole, so go and make your way in there, into the chasm. And the first thing you want to do is look for a beacon of a light root. There should be one relatively close by, and you want to get your hands on it just to heal you of any gloom. And pretty much light the way forward, because you're going to need it. Once you've activated the light route, the first thing you're going to want to do is head northeast, because that's the location where you're going to get into the forest. There's a road in front of you, you'll see lots of poes on the way forward, and if you can see in the top left of the screen there, you're going to see a couple more light routes. The one on the left is the one you're looking for where the landmark is, as that's going to be your way up into the forest. So head along that road and collect lots of the poes. You'll notice by a lot of the trees that you'll come across that you're heading in the right direction, as it'll look like the ones in the Korok Forest with faces. So get yourself on top of them and make your way along the path. Just be careful on the way, because there's going to be a lot of gloom enemies like this one here, and you can't outrun them, and it doesn't end well for me here. Once you've activated the light route, you want to go left of it, and you'll notice this with a flat ceiling. It should be roughly around here on your map, northeast of where the other light route was, where you entered the chasm. Head on over here, and you want to equip the Ascend ability, hit it, and head straight up the top into the forest. Once you've entered Korok Forest, you'll notice things aren't how they used to be in the previous game. The Deku tree doesn't look very well, and all the other Koroks are stood round not moving at all. Head on up and chat to Deku, and he'll tell you that his stomach isn't very well. Head on through the last entrance that you would have used in the previous game, and you'll notice that all the shops aren't open, the beds aren't available, and at the very end of his stomach, you're going to see a hole with lots of gloom coming out of it. This is a big boss fight down here. I wouldn't recommend coming down here unless you're prepared. So to begin with, I'd highly recommend cooking lots of gloom-resistant food, healing items. You want to come into this boss fight pretty well prepared. I personally recommend getting a spring and attaching it to the shield. You'll see why in a bit in the boss fight. I highly recommend doing that. Not only that, I highly recommend getting as many bomb flowers as possible. Stack up on those things, whether you use coins, pose, or even if you just run around the depths and find as many of them as possible. These will definitely help you in the first phase of the boss fight. Now, this would have been my second attempt fighting Ganon, but by no means am I proud of it, and it's anything to brag about, and you'll see why. I don't know what I thought when I was trying to fight him, but I managed to cheese through the boss fight and win it. Luckily, I came prepared with a ton of bombs and items, but this is nothing to be proud of, and you'll see why. After you defeated him, you'll come up and you'll notice that all the shops are back open, the Koroks are back to normal talking to you, and the gloom appears to have all left the forest. When you head back up and chat to Deku, he'll tell you that he can feel the presence of the Master Sword in this area. You'll notice that the icon showing the Master Sword is constantly moving. This is because the sword is wedged in the head of a light dragon that's flying around the map. Now, I got quite lucky when acquiring this sword because it happened to be floating above one of the towers that was nearby. Whereas I know some people have been very unlucky where they've had to build all sorts of planes and mechanisms to try and like fly to the dragon. But for me, it was a case of going to this tower and flying up. I don't know if the dragon will be in the same area for you. I imagine it's different for everyone. You can see there the dragon next to me on the tower. So for me, this was easy. Get to the top of the tower, light the area up, and fly on down to the dragon. When you find the dragon, make sure to hit its back and collect as many of the scales as possible, because these scales are a great way to fuse as many weapons as possible. They're a great way to farm it, because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the dragons refresh themselves. There's loads of dragons on the map. It's not something you want to miss out on, as all your weapons will have a massive attack build on them thanks to the fuse. What you're about to see now is potential spoiler material if you're currently playing the game and you're keen on remaining spoiler free throughout it. If you're not, then go ahead and watch it, but I'm just going to stop talking for a second because this next scene is incredible.
Link. Link. The Master Sword. Your sword. She is the key to destroying the Demon King. He defeated her before, but a long slumber will heal these grievous wounds. And when you two next face the Demon King, you will have my strength to help you through her. Link, You are our final hope. I pray this sword reaches you in the future.
And with that, the quest is complete and you've recovered the Master Sword. I'm pretty sure with this Fierce Deity outfit on, I'm not going to have a hard time fighting off many of these bosses, as the Master Sword is incredibly powerful and this outfit increases the attack, so I'm looking forward to it. And just to test the sword out, I went and found a bunch of goblins, and it's safe to say that this thing does a job.